Hi, this is Michael Riley, host of the Open Soul Podcast. This special edition was produced by students of our podcast guest training program in October 2024. This training is designed for anyone with little to no experience to become an interesting and engaging guest on any podcast, where you'll be able to inform, entertain, and self-promote after just a few in-person classes. If you would like information about attending one of our workshops in the Phoenix area, please shoot us an email, opensoulpodcast@gmail.com.
You're listening to the Open Soul Podcast.
Hi, this is LaJoyce Kerns. I'm guest host of this segment of the special edition of the Open Soul Podcast. I'm here with Janet Husted today. Janet, thank you for talking with me.
Thank you, LaJoyce, for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
I'm really glad to hear that. Tell me a little bit about what you do, where you live.
I live in Peoria, Arizona, and I just recently, about a year ago, I moved to Peoria, even though I was living in the valley. And so when I moved here, I wanted to find like-minded people. I've been on a spiritual journey for decades, and So I found this place called a Place of Spiritual Wisdom, and I started to attend classes here, and it's just been such a blessing to find this place.
Tell me just a couple of classes you've been to.
I've been to one on intuitive development, which has really helped me to gain more confidence in my own intuitive abilities.
Mm-hmm.
And I've also been attending the astrology class and really enjoying the interaction of the astrology class. I mean, everybody who studies astrology kind of studies it in a little different way, and they come with the different perspectives about like the planets or the signs or the houses. So it's been really nice to hear how everybody else is interpreting aspects in someone's chart.
So what is your special interest that we're going to talk about today?
What I feel like I've been guided from my spiritual guides is to help people become more self-aware. To me, the greatest gift someone can give themselves is to become aware of their own refer to as woundedness.
Okay, woundedness.
And how I define that is when we're born and we grow up, we're exposed to all kinds of belief patterns about ourselves. You know, when our parents put us down, you know, where we feel not worthy of something or we're not getting the love and attention, we tend to take on certain beliefs about ourselves, about maybe unworthiness, or we may feel like we're alone when we don't feel like people are there for us, where we don't feel nurtured. So what I have done is I've created a process where I help people understand themselves a little bit better by using numerology and astrology and the destiny cards. So what that does is it gives them insight into aspects of themselves that then they can go, they can start kind of being their own healer. They can have more self-empowerment.
Okay, so you said astrology, numerology, and destiny cards.
Yes.
Familiar with a little bit, the first two. What are destiny cards?
Destiny cards, like astrology, is a very ancient wisdom, knowledge, and it's based on what we refer to now as the 52-card deck.
Oh, just a regular playing cards?
Yeah, regular playing cards, including the Joker.
Oh, okay.
And each birthday has a card assigned to it. There is an astrological component to the destiny cards, but each day has their own card, and each card represents a certain vibration, you know, and that comes with has its own strengths and weaknesses that come with each card. So once you can kind of understand that, also in numerology, I'm going to back up a little bit. So numerology, I work on the life path. So if you take the life path, and then there's certain aspects in your natal chart that I cover.
Okay.
I'm not going to name them all because there's too many.
Okay.
And then the destiny cards, if you kind of bring it all together and kind of get an overview, you can understand, I need to work on self-doubt, or I tend to be codependent. So I need to work on being aware of when I slip into those codependency patterns.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are aware that you have those tendencies, then you can start going, wait a minute, I just slipped into codependency again. So now that you have that awareness, now you can begin to maybe read a book, gain more information, understanding of what codependency is about. You can read a book. You can also go to healers or counselors as well. It's all understanding how you play that behavior out. So then you can begin to make the changes and start, I say, catching yourself when you fall into those patterns. You may not be able to catch it right at the moment, but maybe later in the day, or you're laying in bed at night, you can reflect on the day, and you can say, oh, I did it again. I gave in to that person. I let them lead me. I let them control me. And so then you can say, okay, I have that awareness. And so now when you have that same pattern come up again, because of that awareness, you can start catching yourself a little quicker, a little faster, and begin to shift how you perceive that situation and how your role is in it. So you can begin to take back your power, and then you'll start seeing changes in your life. It doesn't happen overnight. It's a journey. Our lives are journeys. And so we are constantly evolving into a better expression of ourselves.
Okay, tell me, how did you find out about destiny cards? Where did you learn that?
A spiritual teacher I went to many years ago, he was very much into it. And so he introduced it to me. And for me, the card that I am, it's very fitting for me. It's all about valuing myself.
Okay.
And also one of the other aspects in the Destiny cards also lets me become more aware of my spiritual growth. I'm on a spiritual path.
Right.
So when I realized that I have to learn more about my self-value, which is a big thing for me. If I begin to feel like I can't handle something, it's like I dig my feet in and I'm going, I just want to just stop, crawl in a little hole, put my blanket over me and just say, I don't want to come out. I don't want to come out. So until I finally have to just stop and breathe and tell myself, okay, Janet, there you go again.
This is LaJoyce, and I'm talking with Janet, and she is telling us how to develop more self-awareness. Thank you, Janet. Back to the astrology and numerology portion of this. Where did you get training on that? How did you learn how to do that?
A lot of it is self-taught, and from my own self-experience, because I would read these books on numerology and astrology, and I found myself beginning to say, okay, how does this apply to me? How does my sun sign affect me or influence me? Because for me, my soul came in wanting to be born on a certain day at a certain time. And so it came in with some predetermined agenda that it wanted me to work on.
So how do you know your soul wanted to be? Did it tell you?
It didn't so much tell me straight out. I wished it had. Wouldn't you like to have your soul been able to tell you,
That would be nice.
Wouldn't it be nice to be born with this little book and said, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, this is the things you're working on in this lifetime, Janet. That would have been wonderful. But it doesn't.
Nope.
So it's a trial and error.
Meditation, journaling, those things?
Yes, those things. But also so much of it is now that I've had just a few years of living, that I can look back and see how my life has unfolded and the things that have happened and ask myself, is this the way I want to be? Is this the way I want to experience life? Do I want to still live in fear? Do I want to still live in disempowerment?
You brought up that your soul wanted to be born on a certain date. Did you have a interest in metaphysical things? I think they called them New Age way back then, at an early age?
No, I did not. I was very entrenched in the ways that I was brought up, and my parents did not have any kind of spiritual perspective that I can remember. But in looking back, there was a part of me that always felt like I wanted to help people.
So you always wanted to be a healer?
In hindsight, yes. I originally started to be a nurse because that was the traditional thing for a woman back in the 60s and 70s. But I gave that up due to a family situation. But it always was there. There was always something nudging me for years and years and years. And it just kept being there. But I got caught up in wanting to support myself. And so I just kept waiting and waiting and waiting to see when Spirit would guide me to start maybe taking more steps to where I could maybe share some of what I understand and the wisdom and understanding that I feel like I can bring.
Right.
That's unique to me that might plant a seed in someone, because all I can do is plant seeds.
So, Janet, do you take people to work with to help them learn about themselves, self-awareness? Do you take clients?
Yes, I do. I'm currently doing readings on what I'm calling your soul path guidance.
Okay.
So that's where I take the various aspects I mentioned earlier, numerology, aspects in your natal chart, and the destiny cards to kind of help people understand themselves better.
Janet, if someone wants to reach out to you to learn more about how to become their more authentic self, how would they do that?
Just have them come on down to the Place of Spiritual Wisdom, and my contact information is at the desk.
That's great. If you were going to give a piece of information or some pearls of wisdom to the audience in the community at the Place of Spiritual Wisdom, what would that be?
The greatest gift you can give yourself is to learn to know yourself, learn to understand yourself, and learn to just embrace who you authentically are.
That's a very important statement. Okay, well, I thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me, LaJoyce.
I wish you all the best going forward. And to our audience, thank you for listening to this special edition of Open Soul Podcast.
This is the Open Soul Podcast.